Freedom. What does it mean to be free? It's a question as old as time itself and one that remains as elusive as ever. If you ask the dictionary, it will tell you that freedom is the absence of constraints, the state of being unrestricted. But is that truly all there is to it? Is freedom merely about the removal of barriers, or is there something deeper, something more profound, that we often overlook? Take a moment to think about your own life. Have you ever felt trapped? Perhaps in a job that drains your energy, a relationship that stifles your growth, or even within your own thoughts, where doubts and fears seem to build walls around you. If freedom is simply the absence of constraints, why is it that so many of us, despite having more opportunities and privileges than ever before, still feel bound? The reality is that freedom is far more complex than the absence of restrictions. It isn't something you can acquire through wealth, power, or even opportunity. It is not a destination you can reach by removing external obstacles. Instead, freedom is deeply personal. It is a state of being that goes beyond the surface of our lives and reaches into the very core of who we are. The idea of freedom is often tangled with the concept of security. These two forces, while seemingly complementary, are in constant tension. You cannot have both in their purest forms. To choose security is to willingly sacrifice a degree of freedom. To choose freedom, you must let go of the safety nets that provide comfort and stability. Think about it. How many times have you heard someone say, "I feel stuck. I wish I could live a different life." They dream of quitting their job, packing their bags, and starting anew. But when you suggest they take the leap, the hesitation sets in. They say, "I can't leave my job. I need the income. I can't leave my friends and family. They're my support system." This isn't surprising. Security is alluring. It's human nature to crave stability, to hold on to the things that make us feel safe. But therein lies the paradox. The very things that provide comfort, our routines, our possessions, our relationships, can also be the chains that bind us. Freedom and security are two sides of the same coin, forever in opposition. This dynamic doesn't just play out on a personal level. Entire societies wrestle with the balance between freedom and security. The more a government prioritizes security, the more it tends to curtail personal freedoms. Surveillance, regulations, and controls may create a sense of safety, but they come at a cost. On the other hand, a society that values freedom above all else often faces chaos and uncertainty. This delicate balance shapes not only individual lives but the trajectory of civilizations. Many people believe that the solution to this tension lies in wealth. If they had enough money, they could be free to live as they please, to escape the grind, to travel the world. It's a seductive idea, but one that rarely holds true. Imagine someone hands you an enormous sum of money tomorrow. At first, it feels like a dream come true. You quit your job, indulge in luxuries, and experience the freedom to do what you want. For a while, it's exhilarating. But then, something shifts. The excitement fades. The things that once thrilled you begin to lose their luster. The luxurious hotel room becomes just another place to sleep. The extravagant meals begin to taste ordinary. There's a famous story about a wealthy oligarch who was vacationing on his private yacht. He hired a Michelin-starred chef to prepare an extravagant meal. But when the meal was served, he dismissed it, sending his staff to fetch McDonald's instead. This story, though amusing, highlights a deeper truth. Money can buy comfort and options, but it cannot buy contentment. It cannot free you from the restless dissatisfaction that often plagues the human spirit. If money doesn't guarantee freedom, what about power? Surely those who hold influence, those who can shape the world around them, must experience a kind of freedom. But power, like wealth, comes with its own constraints. Take someone like Elon Musk, a figure who seems to embody limitless possibility. He has the resources and vision to pursue extraordinary goals. Yet, is he truly free? His days are filled with responsibilities, obligations, and the expectations of countless others. Shareholders demand results, employees rely on his leadership, and the public scrutinizes his every move. His freedom is limited by the weight of his responsibilities. This is the paradox of power. The more you have, the more you are bound by the expectations and pressures that come with it. Freedom, it turns out, has little to do with what you possess, whether it's money, influence, or opportunities. If freedom isn't found in external circumstances, where does it reside? The answer lies within. The only freedom that truly matters is freedom from oneself. What does it mean to be free from oneself? It means liberating yourself from the constraints of your own mind. We are all subject to emotions, desires, and thoughts that shape our experiences and influence our actions. On a bad day, a wave of sadness can weigh us down, making even the simplest tasks feel impossible. On a good day, overconfidence can lead us to act recklessly. These internal forces, though intangible, often dictate our lives. True freedom is the ability to rise above these forces. It is the capacity to engage with the world without being ruled by fleeting emotions or irrational fears. It is the strength to act with intention and clarity, rather than reacting impulsively to every external trigger. This kind of freedom cannot be bought or inherited. It is not something that can be handed to you. It must be cultivated, slowly and intentionally, through inner work. It requires self-awareness, discipline, and a willingness to confront the uncomfortable truths about yourself. The path to inner freedom is not an easy one. It demands that you examine your thoughts, your habits, your beliefs. It requires that you let go of attachments and expectations, that you embrace the uncertainty of life. But for those who choose to walk this path, the rewards are profound. To wake up each day unburdened by the weight of your own mind, to face the world with a sense of clarity and equanimity, that is a freedom that no external circumstance can provide. Most people, however, never seek this kind of freedom. They chase its illusion instead, clinging to the idea that more money, more status, or more possessions will set them free. They lament their lack of freedom even as they tighten their own chains, adding more commitments, more responsibilities, more distractions. This isn't a judgment, it's simply the reality of the human condition. Freedom, especially the kind that liberates you from yourself, is hard. It requires sacrifices that many are unwilling to make. It asks you to trade comfort for growth, certainty for possibility. But for those who dare to pursue it, the journey is transformative. It is a journey not outward but inward, one that reshapes how you see the world and yourself. It is the difference between living reactively, battered by the whims of external forces, and living intentionally, guided by a deep sense of purpose and inner peace. So, what does freedom mean to you? Is it the ability to do what you want, when you want? Or is it something deeper, a liberation from the constraints of your own mind? The answer will be different for everyone. But one thing is certain, freedom is not something you stumble upon. It is something you create. It is a journey, not a destination. The choice is yours. Will you remain bound by the illusions of freedom, or will you take the first step toward a freedom that lies beyond?